No, Sat. No. Yam Yam Bigelow. American Cream Busty Rolls. Thick Flair herself. Nikkita Lyons has been announced injured. All of our brackets for the Women's Breakout Tournament have been busted. But we are here for the Mocha 2.0 edition of the WrestleTalk podcast. It is me, your trio phenom SP3, back with Mommy Niangi's baby boy, Sat E. How you doing this Wednesday? And how are you feeling about Nikkita Lyons being announced injured and out of the Women's Breakout Tournament, Sat?
I think it's a huge disservice to the fan base. But at the same time, WWE taught us well. Do not cry over spilt milk. Look at the positives. Tiffany Stratton had one of the best performances I've ever seen her have. And now the tally is up. Who's gonna win it now? Is it gonna be Roxanne or is it gonna be Tiffany? We're gonna find out next week. But yeah, it's I don't know what's going on. SP3 knows more than I do. This guy's more insider than most insiders. I mean, it's in his blood, if you know what I mean. So the E stands for encapsulate. I just encapsulated what I just said right now. And we're here to encapsulate what happened the hour and 30 minutes of NXT 2.0. Hello, folks.
Hello, folks. What's causing all of this? And it is the fact that Nikkita Lyons was announced injured in the Women's Breakout Tournament. She was scheduled on last night's episode of NXT 2.0 to face Fallon Henley in a semifinals match in the Women's Breakout Tournament. We came back from commercial break, and Mackenzie Mitchell is interviewing Fallon Henley with Briggs and Jensen. And Mackenzie announces that Nikkita Lyons suffered an injury that forced her to withdraw from the Women's Breakout Tournament. Henley was supposed to get a free bye to the finals, but something else that we talked about last week, for weeks we've been saying Nikkita Lyons is the favorite. She's the one to win. But we also said it was strange that Tiffany Stratton wasn't in this tournament, being that she is one of the new faces of the NXT 2.0 women's division. So she came in to confront Fallon Henley and said that Henley didn't earn her spot in the women's breakout tournament finals, and Fallon challenges Tiffany to face her tonight in that semifinals matchup of the women's breakout tournament. And with the line, and I had to get this quote for quote because I usually only do quote for quote for Joe Gacy promos, but I had to get this line in from Fallon Henley. She says, "You want to come at me? Well, yeehaw, biscuit! I'll come right back at you."
I got you there because Mud Mother is whooping everyone's booty in the chat. No swearing, no racism. No extreme opinions. Say that for 4chan. This is WrestleTalk. This is peace, love, and harmony. We even try to do peace, love, and harmony with our reviews. But yeah, yeehaw biscuit. I wrote that down there. I was like, I want to say the B word, but Mom Mother will whoop me. So yeehaw biscuit. That's what she said. Oh my fudge.
So how do you feel about Nikkita Lyons being out? I mean, we didn't hear any additional information. There hasn't been any reporting from, the usual news sources that this is a real injury or this is a storyline injury. All we could go by is what they said on the show. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of questions for if this is a valid injury or not, because also on this show, you had someone who rolled their ankle in training. So there was a lot of mystery injuries that we didn't see that have happened off air before this episode, which we'll get into. But we're really here to talk about Nikkita Lyons being injured, being out of the women's breakout tournament. I mean, me, myself, I'm going to go on. I think it is probably a legit injury because they seem to be building this whole tournament around Nikkita Lyons winning and then getting her shot at the NXT Women's Championship. We've talked about it for weeks. She's the viral superstar of this women's division, and it seemed like this was a tournament made for her to win. So I have to I'm leaning on the side of believing it, but I'm only slightly leaning because this is WWE and they come up with injuries all the time.
Well, WWE have a history of great things coming out of either people getting punished or injured. So if Triple H then do the curtain call, there'll be no Austin 316 with Austin winning King of the Ring. There are other examples like Bryan Danielson winning WrestleMania 30. That wasn't in the cards for him. He was destined to face Sheamus, but CM Punk walked out. What I'm trying to say is it may be a blessing in disguise for all the other women's wrestlers in that tournament. Ideally, Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton. But yeah, so if it's legit injury, am I right? Did those splits did she split too far? You know?
Pull the hammy, pull the hamstring or something. It's easy to pull a hamstring on that. Don't drop that dun-to-dun. That finisher that she does.
Yeah, she dropped the dunk, and now she dunked the dunk in a medical facility.
And now she dunk can't perform in this tournament.
Yeah, she can't. But yeah, SP, what's going on? What's the rest of the show saying? What's it saying? Was your boy on?
Well, let's talk about the women's breakout tournament first. But of course, we want to hear from all of you. What do you guys think about Nikkita Lyons being out of the tournament? We're going to tell you who is going to be the finalist in the women's breakout tournament. They didn't announce it out front for next week's episode. So I don't know if they're going to save the finals for In Your House or possibly for next week's show. We don't know as of yet, but we want to hear from all of you. What do you think about Nikkita Lyons' injury? Do you believe it? Do not. Who's your favorite to win the tournament? WrestleTalk.com/support. Send us those Mochachats because this is an interactive show. We always love to hear from all of you, even if it's not about NXT 2.0. You want to ask Sat about joining the DAD squad. You want to congratulate him on bringing.
Do you know that's an open secret? Yeah, because I haven't announced it on social media. Like, as far as people's concerned, I'm just chilling in the backwoods somewhere, childless.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see the congratulations in the chat because whenever there's a new member of the DAD Inc., a part of WrestleTalk, it's me and Luke only right now. We got a new member and we got an enforcer. This is like when Ric Flair and Triple H, I'd be Ric Flair because Luke. No, I think me and Luke are the same age, but he's a little older in the WrestleTalk world. So he's Ric Flair, I'm Triple H, and we got our Batista. We got the Big Dave. We got Big Dave here with us, a part of the DAD evolution.
Not even just that. My baby was 11 pounds. 11 pounds. So good thing we had a C-section because she would have tore my partner's finger part. It would have looked like a punched lasagna if we didn't go for a C-section. It just would have ruined it. It would have wrecked her. But my whole life would have been wrecked. The spice would be gone. Should have been torn.
Oh my goodness! I did not know that. I know you probably messaged me this, but this is new information.
Taking it in, yeah. 11 pounds.
Like, oh my god!
Yanked her out. I was like, "That's the culprit. That's the big son of a you know what? That's my daughter right there."
So yeah. I did hear that in the chat. Thank you all for informing me. YouTube is putting me and Sat in slow motion. So yes, what I said is that Sat is a part of the DAD squad. He is a new father. His kid was born the day after my birthday. In SP3 week, it's no longer SP3 week. It's baby Niangi week.
Yes,
taking the crown already.
That way, she's a little Principessa, a little Italian that's gonna come, through later on. We talk about a mystery Italian wrestler coming to NXT 2.0. We're out, Val, Fabian. We're out, Val.
I will get to you because on the version that I watch, I think they cut that out. They didn't know that was a part of the show, maybe. But I'll let you. I'm gonna give you that honor.
Oh, really?
But like I said, the women's breakout tournament is what we're going to start off the show with. But send us those Mochachats. What you think about Nikkita Lyons' injury? What you think about Sat being the new DAD in town? And what you think about the women's breakout tournament? Because we had two semifinal matches on this episode. Roxanne Perez versus Lash Legend. This was immediately after the announcement of Nikkita Lyons' injury. This was kind of the David versus Goliath battle of the tournament. Legend didn't get an entrance. And I just put in my notes that was disrespectful because that's one of the best things she does is the entrance.
I like And SP3 was confused by what I said last week. Don't you not see her? Her and Britt Baker just like pointing at people, and never the point. It's like the tapping on invisible, tablets when they come out. It's like you're deleted, you're disgusting. I like that Lash Legend has leaned in more of a host wrestler, because in the beginning, when learning how to wrestle, you feel the pressure that you have to do so much in the ring. Someone like her, she can do simplistic moves like backbreakers and delay suplexes and make that look cool. And that's what she did in this match against Roxanne Perez. I was happy. Roxanne Perez made Lash Legend look like Giant Gonzalez.
She went out there and she really showed off her strength in this matchup. They officially announced during the match that Tiffany Stratton was taking Nikkita Lyons' spot in the semifinals against Fallon Henley. Legend hits a nice reverse vertical suplex, not even a regular delayed suplex, but a reverse vertical suplex early on. One of the more impressive things that I've seen Lash Legend do so far. She then hit a vertical butterfly backbreaker, which was pretty nice as well. I did the CWC. I gotta. They came up with the "Lash is trash" chant, which reminded me of when they used to do the "Sasha is ratchet" chants back in the day.
Yeah, I remember those. But see, even those chants, the chant for Lash Legend and the chant for Sasha Banks, I feel like there's some extra spice behind those chants. I don't know about it. There's something about the way they say it as well. Lash is trash. I was like, what do you mean she's trash?
Exactly. What are you trying to get at here? But I'm just probably in the ring, but that's besides the point. Perez makes a comeback, but Legend gets control again. She sets up for a power bomb, but Perez reverses into the Code Rock / Pop Rocks, as they have coined it now, for the victory. I thought Perez was once again great. She's the best. She's one of the best in-ring workers in all of NXT 2.0, whether it's male, female. I think she's come in and she's really been impressive. And Legend got to show off some of her strength with some good power moves, and I would say that this is right behind that second match with Nikkita Lyons as her best match that she's had so far. What did you think, Sat?
Roxanne Perez is a breath of fresh air. She also kind of reminds me of Bret Hart, when sometimes Bret Hart would just do a finisher out of nowhere. That's what kind of reminded me of what she did when she reversed that power bomb into Pop Rocks, Pop Rock and Stock, Pop Rock and Jack. Lash Legend, like I said, she's athletic. When she does the kip pop, it's to show you guys, hey, I got an athletic background. She's got the character work. I miss her show, her talk shows. I severely missed that show. That was a great way to introduce wrestlers and flesh out their personality. It's like they almost forgot what got her over in the first place, especially as like a meme character in the beginning. So I hope that she goes back to doing what she does best, which is great character work. She's showing a bit in the ring. Again, she's honing in the host work. And Roxanne Perez, she may win the whole thing, but the fact that she already faced Mandy, I'm not too sure. You know what I'm saying? But then again, Tiffany Stratton, you don't want, heel versus heel or whatever. So I don't know if Tiffany Stratton winning might be an indication of who may win against Mandy, whoever Mandy faces, Wendy Chu, who knows? So,
this isn't a 100% predictable, finals, but definitely Perez has to be considered one of the favorites. Like I said, she's just been so great in a short amount of time. She's been with the on NXT 2.0 for like a month and a half, and already I would put her up there with any of the women in the division as far as in-ring workers.
Also, may I add, she's been in there. A-Kid came before Roxanne. You know what I'm saying? A-Kid, where's A-Kid? A-Kid is missing. A-Kid's missing, guys, and everyone's just sitting there calm. A-Kid's missing. But
someone find A-Kid. I'm gonna have my graphics guy come up with a most wanted photo or a milk carton photo of A-Kid. Where is A-Kid?
A-Kid's gone, guys. A-Kid's missing. We need to find this kid. Where's A-Kid?
Someone find A-Kid.
I'm looking for A-Kid. Not my kid.
A-Kid. A-Kid. The other semifinals matchup that was on this show, Sat, was Tiffany Stratton versus Fallon Henley. Stratton had some new gear that made her look very similar to what Charlotte Flair wears when she wears the the 101 Dalmatians outfit that when she plays Corella Deville, that type of outfit, it was very similar what Tiffany Stratton had on. Barrett and Vic are arguing about Tiffany being in this match, with Wade saying that Stratton's win over Saray 3 weeks ago should be considered her quarterfinal win. She see, everybody's thinking about checkers. He's thinking about chess. That argument stood out to me on commentary. You also had Tiffany Stratton. She hit a delayed over the top rope senton and then focused on Henley's left knee. She follows with the double flip elbow in the corner, and due to the work on the knee, it paid off in the end. So this match had better psychology than most of the developmental matches here. Henley is hobbled, so Stratton takes advantage. She hits a drop kick in the corner, and then her corkscrew Vader bomb for the win to move on to the women's breakout tournament finals. So it's going to be Tiffany Stratton versus Roxanne Perez in the finals now. Grayson Waller came out and celebrated with Stratton after the win. What did you think about this match?
Guys, this moment, right? So for months, maybe, I don't know how long I've been doing this. I feel like I've been doing it for months. So I've been ragging on Tiffany Stratton. At one point, I even called her Mandy 1.0, only because of her outfit. Ladies and gentlemen, did you notice that Tiffany Stratton no longer dresses like Mandy 1.0? She's got a new outfit. She got a little short, shoes and everything. She looks great. She did great in the ring. I am officially a fan. I saw she had potential. Don't get it twisted. I'm not jumping on the train now. I was more like holding onto the train, waiting for it just to get a little bit, on the tracks, moving a little bit before I jumped on, because she kind of reminded me of Alexa Bliss, because Alexa Bliss also has the gymnastic background as well. But I don't feel like Alexa uses it to the degree that Tiffany Stratton does. It was a case of like putting those two together, putting her in-ring moves with her gymnast prowess together, and she did it in this match, and I was super impressed. She actually out-wrestled Fallon Henley, who was in the independents. Just to let you guys know, Fallon Henley was a thing in the independents, because the independents is a thing. You have to wrestle, somewhere, and hot dogs and handshakes and so forth just to be seen legitimate. But Tiffany Stratton was the better wrestler. She whipped her biscuits. So I am happy about the semi-final. That Tiffany versus Roxanne Perez, mwah.
Yeah, I think it's less predictable than what people may imagine, because I can realistically see Tiffany Stratton winning to get her some legitimate heel heat, because I feel like she doesn't have like heel heat right now. She's more of just like this character, the rich girl character. Grayson Waller does give her some heat, their association, but her coming in the semifinals, not actually winning a quarterfinal matchup, and then winning the whole tournament, that is how you would kind of solidify her as a heel. And especially with what's going on the main roster, the main roster needs some women's tag teams. So I don't know how long we're going to have Toxic Attraction on this show. So if you want to fill in that top heel in the women's division very easily and transition Toxic Attraction, the entire act, up to the main roster, it could be Tiffany Stratton who wins the breakout tournament.
Well, people saying her character has a ceiling. No, it doesn't. She actually has a character, and we've seen it before in TV shows, reality TV shows per se. They can just hone in on that. Cast her fictional father, her fictional mother, make her an Instagram influencer. There's so many storyline threads you can do with Tiffany Stratton. You're only seeing one side of what could be a multi-layered character. Just to let you guys know, people say she has a ceiling, but I am a fan, and I think she could do more. Grayson Waller comes across as her bestie that she's friend zoned and she doesn't want anything to do with. That was it Bucky, Brewster, wherever, Pretty in Pink, wherever that character in Pretty in Pink was friend zoned. That's Grayson Waller. I don't see any chemistry. Whatever chemistry they had when she wasn't showing her face, that went as soon as they start hanging out. They got shopping together, getting new clothes. There's no heat. There's no magnetism there. Exion Quinn. Now that's a guy you should put with Tiffany Stratton. Your uncle with unsolicited advice, just telling her, spread your money better.
There you go. Grayson Waller has been friend zoned, and Zion Quinn is the
She likes the accent.
target.
Get the other Aussie.
Hey, that works for me. That makes a whole bunch of sense. But let us know what you think about this women's breakout tournament final between Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez. Who are you rooting for? Who do you think is going to win and why? Let us know. WrestleTalk.com/support. Send us those mocha chats because we love to hear from all of you. We're going to read all the mocha chats at the end of the podcast here. But let's get to the beginning of the show, Sat, which started off with our boy Tony D'Angelo with 2 dimes and stacks. And Tony D isn't pleased with what happened last week with Sand Toes
See,
knocking.
it is right. When he says it, it's just like it lingers. Why does it linger? Because Santos.
He emphasizes the first half of the name, and just it sounds like he's saying sand toes, not Santos. He said Santos knocking out Tony with the brass knucks last week. They will make an example of those 2 stunads, and we then see Santos Escobar behind them without them seeing him, and that was a nice little zoom in.
That was
Like
that wasn't
cinematography right there.
Oh, dude, I put that down. Listen, that wasn't Kevin Dunn. You know what I'm saying? Whoever's in charge of that. If it's like Borash, it's Borash. Are you behind this? So I like the fact that it was a different opening. Put some respect on his name. Michael Hickenbottom is Book of the Year for a simple reason that he doesn't follow formula. He just gives you something out of his heart. He prays to the Almighty and he gets a vision and he brings that vision to NXT 2.0. So that was a great way to start because every week when you watch NXT, you never know what to expect. It could be great, it could be trash, it could be in the middle, but you never ever know. That was great. Yes.
And like we've been saying for a couple of weeks, the one big positive about this show is a lot of women's wrestling, a lot of attention on women's wrestling. And we just talked about 2 women's matches for the women's breakout tournament. And we're going to talk about 2 more because there was 2 more on the show. Even if it's not like the whole show full of women's matches, you get anywhere between 2 to 4 women's matches. So I love the attention on women's wrestling, regardless of where they're at in their progression, because this is a developmental show. They do focus on that. But this week, they started off the show focusing on a new tag team, being Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Troy 2 times Donovan.
Boo. Get an Andy Dutson wannabe out of there. Boo. We
Will
don't
you
like
stop
you.
picking on Andy? Stop picking
I'm not.
on Andy.
Listen, I'm not. See, Andy's lethal with a pen. He can just write some barb and just take me down without anything. I'm just saying, it's never a diss at Andy. I'm just trying to point out how out of place this guy looks. It's like putting Andy in the group. It's not a disservice to Andy. Andy would fit anywhere but the mob, if that makes sense. Do you know what I'm trying to say, guys? It's not this to Andy. It's trying to, what is collectively, who do we know? I don't know some of you people in the chats, but who do we collectively know? We know Andy Datson. Would Andy Datson fit with Tony D's mob group? No, he wouldn't. He would stand out.
I think he could be a Mama Luke. He could be a Mama Luke.
For comedic sense, he can pull it off. But in terms of being serious, this guy's got no charisma. He can't read a cue card properly. And his moveset is so behind. I'm more of a Stacks guy. I'm a fan of Stacks. Then he took off his hat and he was bald. I was like, Vito, what happened?
No, you're thinking of two dimes is the one that you like. 2 dimes is the one. Stacks is the whiter, the whiter of the 2 gentlemen.
Like, okay, I like 2 dimes then. Whoever he is. Dollar Store Vito. I'm a fan of him.
And then he has like this weird haircut. Like he's not even bald. He looked bald when he wears the hat. And then he has this weird little haircut. Like I was like, that's not even a fade. That's not even a Caesar. What is that?
That's a Peaky Blinder.
You know how you go to the barbershop and you got all the numbers? Man, he just made up a number. He was like, let me get a 46 on a 44. Like, he just made up some number on the barbershop list for that haircut. But they are versing Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. I'm upset that this was the opener of the show because we didn't get any Malik Blade and Idris Enofe backstage segments, which is their strong point. But they showed some athleticism here. Enofe He hit like a beautiful drop kick early on. Anofe and Blade then hit a nice little double team, ending with I think it's Stacks in the corner, and Anofe hits like a modified 619 underneath the second rope. We see Legado del Fantasma watching the match back in the locker room, and then Escobar he makes sure Elektra Lopez is ready for her match later on, and then he takes Del Toro and Wild to the ring. We get a huge misstep by Blade in this matchup where he slips on the ropes on a springboard, I think drop kick or clothesline. I'm not sure
I
because
know why he slipped. He saw the timing was off. That Stacks guy was not in place. So when he jumped off the ropes, he was like, oh crap, I'm gonna crash and burn. And he crashed and kind of burned because there's so much of a gap between him and Stacks.
I was gonna say my dude probably had ashy elbows before the match, and he put too much baby oil on his elbows, too much cocoa butter, and that's why he slipped on the top rope. Legado del Fantasma stands at the entranceway to watch the wise guys hit a double team punch and then a double team running boot meet in the middle type of maneuver for the win. I don't know what to call it. They just did like the double punch, a double forearm, and then they did
I
the
just called
double
it a
boot.
double boot in the face. You said beat in the middle, and then it took me a second to realize not that beat, a different kind of beat, a meet and greet, if you will. But yeah, you said beat in the middle. I'm sorry, guys. I'm throwing this podcast off the tracks. Let's go back on quickly. Sorry.
He's veering me left, ladies and gentlemen. This was fine, but it was very developmental. That's what I put in my notes. Post match, a huge pull apart brawl breaks out between Legado del Fantasma and the family, and this came off like anarchy. So this was a nice little development of this storyline and feud, as it seems like they're gonna blow this off at In Your House. From what we heard later on from Tony D'Angelo and the Wise Guys, what did you think about the opener here?
Like you said, the match was very basic. That's what development. That's what when SP3 says developmental. That's what he means. The match was very basic, and there wasn't from the parts of the wise guys. There wasn't a much to suss out if they're great in the ring. But in terms of Malik Blade and Idris Enofe, I like the fact that Idris Enofe did a leapfrog, but he did like a crossbody leapfrog to get out of the
Yeah,
situation. And then the double team moves are very smooth. They got great vertical leap, both guys. And I do feel like once they hone in and they refine the tag team, even give them a name, they can be ones to watch in a year's time.
yeah, I think they have potential for sure. Idris Enofe and Malik Blade. They've showed some charisma with their backstage segments. They show a lot of athleticism in their matchups. So they just got to hone it in, and we won't have the missteps like we had in this match here. And a great comment from Bubba. He was like, "Can tell Sat's not slept well
I haven't slept well since last
Thursday."
Tuesday.
Oh,
Last
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Because we had to wake up early on Wednesday for me. Like, yeah, I've been up, guys, for years now. For
This is
years.
this is the sign of being a new dad.
You know what? Ace Shock asked something. Can you highlight that quickly? I want to answer that question. I just want to answer that question.
I'm not
Ace
sure.
Shock, the Brandy Norwood question. Just quickly.
I mean, if you see it, wait, with the women's tag team titles.
No, it's okay. Yes, I'm a huge Brandy Norwood fan. That came up.
Oh, oh,
Sasha Banks' cousin. Sasha Banks' cousin. Yeah, she's my favorite R&B singer of all time. There you go. New dad energy, guys. Yes, I love Brandy. She's my favorite R&B artist of all time. Bar
there
none.
you go.
There
There
you
you
go.
go. New dad energy right there from Sat E. Uh, backstage, Mitchell interviews Wes Lee, who has taped ribs thanks to the attack from Von Wagner last week, and he's still upset about what Sanka the Thunder had to say last week. He even raises his voice to Mackenzie because she says like she says Sanka didn't mean any disrespect. He was like it was disrespectful to me. Lee says he has to fight guys like Sanga to prove to everyone, especially himself, that I can. So, what did you think about this quick little promo here from Wes Lee?
I like that his character's not very black and white. Obviously, he's the face, but it's like a twist on the underdog. You usually get a plucky underdog. Oh, I think I can. I'm gonna do it. He's more like fed up. He lost his tag belt. You can't even tell you why he lost the tag belts. He just lost it. He just walked around. I lost my belt for some reason, and now he's got a chip on his shoulder because you got this uncle with unsolicited advice, Exion Quinn, and you got Sanga. Poor guy minding his own business, but he's wrong place, wrong time. He just cranky. So I like that. I like the fact that he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's gonna go somewhere. At least he's got a storyline. At least we know where it's going. Hopefully, and yeah, I'm a fan of it. Wes Lee with a little bit of a crank in his step.
Yeah, it's a little bit more aggression, a little bit more seriousness from Wes Lee than what we were used to when he was a part of MSK with Nash Carter. So that segued nicely into his matchup with Sanga the Thunder. Sanga starts off things with by yeeting Lee, yeeting Lee across the ring. Wes makes a comeback, hitting a double stomp plancha, and then sliding drop kick off the apron that drives Sanga into the steel steps. Sanga hits a lariat on Lee to get the advantage back, turns Lee inside out, and then he hits a choke slam for the win. So this was quick to the point, a nice David versus Goliath squash. Post-match, Zion Quinn does come out. He gives a round of applause for Sanga and then talks some trash to Wes Lee, but Sanga the Thunder comes back for Wes Lee, has his back and backs down Quinn. So what did you think about this development where seems Sanga the Thunder is really established as a babyface and he's now got some respect for Wes Lee?
Well, first of all, SP3, stop stealing my notes. I actually wrote this. I actually wrote down a classic David versus Goliath match. That's the first line paragraph of my notes. I like the development. I was actually shocked that Sanga won because the way Grayson Waller whooped his ass, it killed any credibility he had as a monster giant. So I just assumed that Wes Lee was potentially going to win. So for me, that was an upset that Sanga won because Sanga hasn't wrestled much. He doesn't have a great track record. So for me, that was an upset because he beat a former tag team champion. Exion Quinn, the further establishing his unsolicited uncle advice gimmick that he's got going on. He comes in, talks some trash, like pull up your pants. If you wore better shoes, you would have won a match or so forth or whatever. And Sanga seems to be a nice guy. Is there going to be an odd couple tag team? Is Sanga and Wes Lee going to be a tag team? Are they going to do that whole slightly tone deaf comedy of where Wes Lee's trying to make Sanga more American, make him some 420?
Yeah, get him to smoke weed. That's what I was gonna say.
Yes. And then Sanga will tell him how, yoga originated from, where India, are they going to go that route? I hope not. It's 21st century. Please, if you're aiming at millennials and Zoomers, please do not do offensive storylines like they might potentially do. I can see the storyline where it's going to go. I can see like the whole fish out of water thing where Wes Lee's going to help Sanga get some women or the other way around. I don't know. But it could be an odd couple tag team coming. I was more hoping that Nathan Frazier will be a tag team partner for Wes Lee because right now there's not much going on because I feel like the North American title scene stacked and then they need more tag teams and Nathan Frazier will be a great, addition to Wes Lee.
With Ikemen Jiro, with Wes Lee, with Nathan Frazier, this would have been great for them to have a cruiserweight championship, but hey, they got rid of that at the beginning of the year.
For great reasons, because Michael Hickenbottom is Booker T, man. He knows what he's doing.
I love how you stand by your boy Hickenbottom. Backstage we go to Cora Jade. She's giving a pep talk to her best friend Roxanne Perez ahead of her women's breakout tournament match against Lash Legend, and she brings up this whole story about Perez having a match with Jenna Waters in Austin, Texas, and Waters threw their stuff out of the locker room, and then Roxanne went on to beat her, and then Perez says that Cora is leaving out the part where she hit Jenna with a skateboard backstage, and Cora says no one talks trash about them, not even Elektra Lopez, and then says she will watch Electra's matchup against Alba Fyre from the crowd. So what did you think about this further interaction between Perez and Jade? They seem to kind of be trying to build this connection and this friendship, possibly future NXT Women's Tag Team Champions here.
Okay. Oh, if it wasn't for the fact that Katana and Kaden have become more prominent the last few weeks, then that would have been my pick. But I'm of the rule. I'm like the other booker from the other show. I like to repay people that have been there for a long time and give them their chance to shine. So I do think Katana and Kaden should be the one to win it. I would like it to see as a foreshadowing of a future feud between the two. I hope it's Roxanne that ends up becoming champion, and Cora's like, "Hey, I've been here longer than you," and it leads them to feuding. Because I do feel like a Cora heel turn, it would be money. And when she said nobody talks crap, it's true. Cora Jade's got a lethal Twitter finger. If you don't believe me, ask Darby Allin. She made that man shooketh. That man went to witness protection. He went social media witness protection after she flamed him on Twitter. So you wouldn't mess with Cora Jade because that girl, she is a child of the internet and she shows it. Don't make fun of her skateboarding to her face. Do it here.
She learned from her idol, AJ Lee. AJ Lee was always had the silver tongue, always came at people on social media. So I guess she learned from her. We were also backstage where we saw Braun Breaker, where I just put two jabronis because I don't know who these guys were.
I put two unnamed trainees. I put more respect on them than you. See, since I've become a father, SP3, I've been changing my ways. I've been trying to mature as an individual. You know, it may last for a few weeks. It might go back to my old self. But at the moment, I'm trying to change.
So two jabronis tell Braun Breaker that the Druids went into his locker room, and this started off the mind games on Braun Breaker on this show. Braun runs into the locker room, but no one is there, and apparently they left a photo from 20 years ago of Braun as a kid with his father. So they were establishing that Braun has daddy issues on the show set.
Also, I like Braun's reaction. Oh, this is from 20 years ago. Oh, gosh. That was his reaction, though.
Why are they making this man do acting? Why does he have to get him?
That was right. That's why he emoted. He saw the picture. What? Oh, this from 20 years ago, guys. Yoish.
Oh, shucks. It's from 20 years ago.
That's what he said. If you don't believe me, for those of you that skipped the show just to watch this, I implore you, go watch that scene. He was just be like, oh, man, a picture of mine. I'm not unsettled at all.
See, regardless of how you feel about this Joe Gacy Braun Breaker feud, it's at its best when Joe Gacy is the one doing the talking and the emoting.
I blame Joe Gacy for low ratings all around.
Will you stop? This is not Joe Gacy's fault. He's been the MVP of this show for weeks. This is why I'm down on this show, because I didn't get enough Joe Gacy talking on this show.
Because my complaints work. Tiffany Stratton's got a new outfit, and we got less Joe Gacy because they know Joe Gacy does not equal ratings. He equals channel changing. I like Joe Gacy, but not the character right now.
Hey, they did over 600,000 viewers last week. I'm not sure it's going to be as much this week. But Elektra Lopez was next. She went up against Alba Fyre. We see Cora Jade in the front row with popcorn.
Such a troll. And where's it with popcorns? WWE got this lifetime supply of popcorns. They just have a guy come out of popcorn, a woman come out of popcorn.
It wasn't as good as Big E in the crowd with popcorn.
That's goated.
That's an all-time meme. Lopez works over Alba's arm until Fyre makes a comeback with a super kick, and then the Glasgow kiss, that headbutt. I was like, I see you taking a page out of Drew McIntyre's book, and then she follows up with a swanton bomb for the win. This was another quick match, but still, Alba Fyre looked good here in their reintroduction of her, kind of dominating Elektra Lopez, despite Lopez kind of getting her offense in the middle of this matchup. And then post-match, Elektra Lopez knocks the popcorn out of Cora Jade's hands, and that apparently sets up a match between Cora Jade and Elektra Lopez for next week's episode. What did you think about this match here?
So for me, because I remember I keep on saying that how Roxanne Perez is one of the best. The reason why she's one of the best is Io Shirai and this Alba Fyre. So Alba Fyre, Kaylee Ray, before that, she was just, a Scottish woman, dominant title reign. Then they dyed her hair bright red to the point where you have to put the brightness down on your keyboard and the TV. But her hair this week, phenomenal. The darker tint of the red. And then, SP3, someone's reading our tweets or something because she came out with a flaming baseball bat. I'm loving the presentation. I feel like she's got it. Someone went in there, they said, okay, wherever Karrion Kross didn't use, wherever Ember Moon didn't use, let's just give it to her. because the whole packaging was incredible. I am a fan. But the only thing I've noticed since she's come back is Alba Fyre. We haven't really seen her wrestle to the degree that we know she can. Heck, she gave us a senton bomb because there's nothing swanny about that move. She almost went rolling rock with it. She went at an angle. But yeah, Alba Fyre, her even like we're talking about, was she wearing a shirt around? I think it's like a half kilt. I think that's what the going with. It's like a burn up kilt that she's keeping around her or something. But yeah, I love her look. That's what we didn't know that's what she needed, but she needed that change. Heck, some of the best female wrestlers from the UK have had name change. Her name change is Fyre, pun intended. And I can't wait to see what they do with her on the main roster. Because I feel like with her long reign in NXT UK, she doesn't need the NXT title. Just send her straight to the main roster. Because right now they're depleted. Unless you shook your head. Do you think that's wrong? No?
No. I think that she doesn't need the NXT Women's Championship. And this is all about kind of giving her a character so that the transition to the main roster will work. I think
love
that
it.
this is one of the better name changes because it wasn't just a name change for name change sake. This was a name change that came with a whole entire character, a new presentation, a new entrance. I love the bat on fire and her putting it out. I'm pretty sure that Joey Janela would have wished that his fire went out so easily, but that didn't work out for him, but it worked out for Alba Fyre during her entrance.
GCW reference, guys, look it up.
Read the article, WrestleTalk.com. Backstage, Damian Kemp is in the Diamond Mine gym and then informs the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile that Roderick Strong rolled his ankle, so the match with Pretty Deadly is canceled. The Creeds and Nile give Kemp a speech about fighting through injury because that's the Diamond Mine way, and they bring up Brutus nearly blowing out his ankles on the Cannonball last week against the Viking Raiders, and then the Creeds say they will take care of Pretty Deadly at In Your House on June 4th. What did you think about this whole exchange and the mysterious injury, the rolling of the ankle for Roderick Strong, canceling the match with Kemp and Strong versus Pretty Deadly on this episode?
I rolled my ankle before by walking. It's one of the most embarrassing injuries I've ever had. I made a joke that probably Nikkita Lyons and Roderick Strong ran away together, but the man's married, so I'm gonna put some respect on his marriage, on his name, on his partner, on his child. Roderick Strong not being there is a huge question mark. Because it is usually WWE do his thing where when the wrestler's there, they have him sell an injury. Heck, have him on crutches. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's kind of like, was it a family emergency why we couldn't have Roderick Strong there? We know he wants to leave NXT because he's seen the ceiling, he's past his peak, he's won every single title except for the main one, the NXT World Championship. So he's seen it. Heck, they got a young guy like Julius Creed. Who's he ever beat? Talking about the Diamond Mine way. This is why I wish we had someone like Mr. Stone or someone of authority. I can't take Julius Creed seriously. It's kind of like when World Strongest Tag Team turned to Kurt Angle. I couldn't take those two guys seriously. You're just two guys propping up Kurt Angle. You know, who are you? Who do you ever beat? You know, so for me, I'm not comfortable with Julius thinking he could talk bad of his coach, his mentor, the leader of Diamond Mine, and poor Damon Kemp. His win-loss record so bad he can't be straight included into the group because he's never beaten anyone.
He still got to earn his stripes. He has to beat someone. And Roderick Strong has to win in 2022 for him to be considered the Diamond Mine leader. And I'm not talking about over on NXT UK when people from the UK don't even watch that show.
Nope. I think it got cancelled like a long time ago. It's still on.
It's still on.
I'm kidding.
Every Thursday.
Okay, I want to put some respect. I call it the Ilya hour because I only watch when Ilya Dragunov has great matches. When they say Ilya had a great 1 hour match, I was like, I'm gonna watch it, and I scrapped the rest. No offense to the guys in the UK, but no, they asked you to do this in the first place. I don't care.
No one told you to kill the UK indies and create a show that you don't even promote that well. So. I mean, it is what it is. Next was the whole announcement of Nikkita Lyons being injured that we talked about, and then Roxanne Perez versus Lash Legend. After the matchup, we go backstage to Toxic Attraction, who is cutting a promo while Mandy is walking to the ring for her matchup against Indi Hartwell, and then they get jumped, Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, by Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Yes, it wasn't just a one-off with them watching the the network exclusive with their promo last week. They actually took the fight to the champions, and so Rose is on her own for the next matchup, which was against Indi Hartwell. Hartwell comes out with new theme music this week, so they're giving her the gloss over, Sat. They're saying new music, new you. You don't have a relationship. You don't have a best friend anymore. We're going to establish you now, but we'll talk about this matchup.
She's gone on her own way, if you will.
On her own way, pun intended. Indi showed off her strength early on before Rhodes took the advantage. She worked over Hartwell's lower back during the commercial break, and then when we come back, Indi makes her comeback, got a near fall off a spine buster, and then Toxic Attraction all beaten up, dragging their legs like this Scarlet Witch. Toxic Attraction came down to ringside, but Chance and Carter attacked from behind. Jane got in the ring with Chance, so Hartwell gives Jane the big boot and takes her out of the ring before Rose hits a pump knee for the win to get another victory here. Indi Hartwell, she was okay in this match. The match overall was decent, but I thought the finish was another lame finish. I'm starting to get kind of over these distraction finishes for Mandy Rose. Like, I understand she's a heel, but Mandy Rose should be at the point where she's able to beat someone without a distraction or Toxic Attraction interfering. Post match, though, we get Wendy Choo, who hits Mandy Rose in the face with a sack of balls. Literally a sack of balls. True then drops her balls on Mandy Rose's body before raising the NXT Women's title. Yes, I put that in my notes and I smiled the entire time.
See, this how fatherhood got me. A week ago, that would have been one of the jokes I wrote down for myself. I didn't. I just I just wrote that this match was stuck on first gear. Didn't really progress far. It was a standard TV match. Indi Hartwell's got a lot more to offer. I mean, she does a great springboard elbow. That's like one of the examples of what she can do in the ring. But yeah, we're now going up to Wendy Choo. Could Wendy Choo win and beat Mandy Rose? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. But what I'm sick of, like SB3, is wrestlers getting in the ring. Wrestlers that's not in the match. Your seconds, your managers, your valets, as soon as they touch their feet in the ropes or on the mat, on the canvas, disqualification. That was a disqualification. That was an easy one. Indi got distracted and that forced her off her game. She could have won. But anyway, like you said, I'm sick of it too. Let's do something different, please.
I'm just want a different finish for these Mandy Rose matches. I feel like if you've seen one finish to a Mandy Rose match, you've seen them all at this point, and I feel like it's getting repetitive at this point. So honestly, I'm at the point when this whole feud started, I was like, okay, Wendy Choo's an easy person for Mandy Rose to win here, but I want Wendy Choo to beat her now.
I do too, because that means Wendy Choo might lose to Tiffany Stratton.
Daddy's little rich girl. Hey, I like her song. The song has grown on me.
I am a fan. I'm a fan of the character because we haven't really had a character like it. We've had iterations with Eva Marie and other people, even like I want to say someone like Emelina, wherever they tried it, kind of. But Tiffany Stratton nails it. Even when she talks, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting PTSD to like Paris Hilton's TV show or something like that. But yeah, she's definitely heading there.
I'm not gonna read the comment, but great comment by Bonus Baby. No, it was actual a pillowcase used as a sack with like beach balls and soccer balls inside of it, which he swung and hit Mandy Rose in the face with a sack of balls. I love your face. Your reaction is why I wrote that in my notes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. And then dropping all the balls on Mandy Rose's body. And then Rose, she raised the NXT Women's Championship in the air. Because that's how you celebrate when you drop your balls on somebody. Backstage.
As you Americans like to say, pause. I never pause because I find that things hilarious. She dropped them balls. Was it sweaty? We don't know.
We don't know if they were sweaty, they're wet. We don't know anything. Backstage, Mackenzie Mitchell interviews the NXT champion Braun Breaker about Joe Gacy's mind games from earlier in the show. And then on the screen behind them, a clip plays of Braun playing high school football when Breaker explains that his father promised him to be at that game, but Rick Steiner couldn't make it since he was in Japan. And the mind games seem to be working. Do you want to do the delivery of Braun Breaker here?
Oh, how did it get that? That's me running 5,000-yard dash. Yeah. My dad said he would be there, but he was wrestling in Japan. Oh gosh. That was literally it. Oh man. How did he get this video? How? Like my guy's Nardwell or something.
Oh, shucks, how he get that?
Yeah. That is like his delivery though. Oh, that's a game of me. That's me running down there. Yeah. My dad said he'd be there, but he was in Japan.
That wasn't exactly the delivery of Braun Breaker. This is the man they're asking to do these main event promos, and he mutes emotion of despair and having daddy issues.
He talks like it's more like down. It's more like a it's like a Scott Steiner, but in a Rick Steiner kind of rasp. But I'm not gonna do that. It's funnier to be like, oh gosh, that's me. Oh, because that's why I feel like it's damaged because Braun's not ready for this type of feud. He needs to be fighting like Von Wagner of all people. At least give him that kind of. He's a gladiator. He's in the B movie horror film as the lead character. Like, oh gosh, where did everybody go? Duh.
That is really what he is. He's like the jock in every horror film as he feuds against Joe Gacy. Backstage again, we go where we see Pretty Deadly dressed like pirates or Becky Lynch, discussing the lame injury excuse by Roddy Strong and their In Your House matchup against the Creeds. They say the Creeds will get yet another example of the two tastiest snacks in NXT, and then they called themselves what they called themselves, like horses in, or the two guys who work as one. Yes, boy. And this was a typical Pretty Deadly interview saying that it was good. It was good and it fit their characters.
Yeah, is a standard Pretty Deadly promo. Again, that for me confirms that this must have been a last minute thing. The fact they couldn't cover that and have last minute tag teams to face Pretty Deadly goes to show you that something's going on. Roddy, where are ya?
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a good week for Pretty Deadly to pick up a victory here, but we don't know about the Roger Strong injury. We don't know too much about the Nikkita Lyons injury, but both of those are kind of strange how they came up and how they were addressed on this show. So it'll probably be something that we talk about next week. The match following this was Tiffany Stratton getting the victory over Fallon Henley in the women's breakout tournament. Then we go backstage. Kaden Carter and Katana Chance are interviewed by Mackenzie. They challenge Toxic Attraction to put the women's tag team titles on the line at In Your House. And then Wendy Chu comes in and she challenges Mandy Rose for the NXT Women's Championship for In Your House as well. What do you think about those two additions, which it seems like we're going to get at In Your House in a week and a half now?
Well, I'm thankful it's not a 6 women's tag match. They could have quite easily go that route. So we're getting proper title matches. And I think that the Toxic Attraction duo of JC Jane and now I'm forgetting the other one's name. I also know the other one's name. The Gigi Dolan, they're gonna lose the titles to Katana and Kaden. So many names to remember. So many of them change. Katana and Kaden for the win. They've been there for a long time. Let them win. I got dad brain. It's kicking in right now. And I think Mandy Rose
Baby
is gonna
brain. They call it baby brain.
I got baby brain, and I think that Mandy Rose is gonna beat Wendy Chu.
I'm more certain that Carter and Chance are gonna beat Toxic Attraction more than I feel Mandy Rose is gonna lose to Wendy Chu, because I
Then,
feel like the women's breakout tournament winner will probably be the one to dethrone Mandy Rose.
ooh, you think she's gonna sneak out on her? Like, Daddy said I should come out right now and beat you for the title. That'd be great if she could say that. Tiffany Stratton.
I think it's gonna be Roxanne Perez because WWE thinks baby faces should like cash in contracts at like because of all the stuff these heels have done. They think it's right for the baby face to win that way.
Wouldn't it be fun if Roxanne Perez sends heel after that as well? She goes, sucker, and then just throws popcorn on Cora's face. I don't know, but we need to get to the Thea Hail part because I did some research because this is BS. Yeah.
Oh, let's hear about that because that was one. Well, first they showed a video package of Von Wagner's Path of Destruction as he's gonna have this match with Ikemen Jiro next. Then we get another vignette of Thea Hail about her high school graduation, which is supposedly today, and she debuts next week on the show. So, what did you hear about Thea Hail?
Oh, guys, okay. Wrestling sometimes is meant to be reality based or kayfabe, whatever you want to call it. Thea Hail got into Princeton. She got into all these universities, right? Right? You saw the letterheads and everything, right? Thea Hail is not her real name. How the heck did she get into any of this university? Maddie Neasley. Her real name is Maddie. Maddie Neasley is Thea Hail's real name. So those are fake papers. She had my heart broken. I was like, oh, smart girl. Go you, girl. Oh, actually, you're dumb, girl. You come into Princeton. You're coming to WWE. Why are you silly? But no, she's forgery. Is that a felony in America? Forgery. She's a
pretty
forger.
sure.
She's
I'm
a
pretty
liar.
sure you can't give a college the wrong name and get accepted into the college.
Yes. So she's showing all those rows of envelopes, the letterheads. I'm saying Thea Hail, Thea Hail. And I was like, I wrote that down. I was like, sir, make a note of this and investigate. And I investigated. Thea Hail is not going to get a new name change down the line. Thea Hail's already got a new name already. She's not going to Princeton. She's a liar. You ain't smart.
Sad is starting another expose. He's gonna do an expose about forgery, college acceptance forgery.
I'm the new Bixen span. I'm the new Bixen span.
The dark side of NXT 2.0, ladies and gentlemen. Here. Only from Sat E Niangi. Backstage, we get Duke Hudson. He approaches Bron Breakker in the locker room. He says that he has nothing to do with anything with these mind games that have gone on throughout the show. And then he brings up Bron Breakker having daddy issues, which I clap for. This is the first time I clap for anything Duke Hudson had to say.
What? Duke, he exudes so much charisma there. Did you not hear his stilted delivery? That was phenomenal. He's dry as a piece of toast with no butter. That's what makes him great.
He really is, though. And it pisses off Breakker. Bron shoves Hudson into the locker, and then Duke says, Gacy was right about you. You can't control your rage.
That was great delivery too. Duke Hudson, right? Especially his main event. The guy got something there. Just give him like a Mr. Stone or Sophia Cromwell. Heck, put him in a tag team with Von Wagner. So you have two giants that nobody likes beating people up just to make the ratings go down.
Put Duke Hudson in the main event every week. That's what Sat wants.
So put some butts in seats.
Absolutely. Next was Von Wagner going up against Ikemen Jiro. Jiro comes out hot. He runs to the ring, and then he hits a handspring back elbow on Wagner. But Wagner gets control with a modified Tour of the Islands. That was probably the worst version of Tour of the Islands I've seen, but it's Von Wagner, Encino Man. Ikemen makes his comeback, hitting an Isai moonsault, which was very nice. And then he follows with a top rope tornado DDT for a near fall. Wagner then puts Jiro's jacket over his head like it's a hockey fight and starts slugging Jiro in the head. And then he follows with his modified AA for the win. This was a developmental match. That's the best I can say about it. But Jiro, he did look impressive. He was the more impressive of the two. Post-match, though, we get Sophia Cromwell comes to the entranceway and points to the announce table. She's trying to beat
Danhausen and Sophia Cromwell have a point off. I'm just saying, guys. Sophia Cromwell has the same dead expression as Danhausen.
Except he actually curses people. She's just Medusa. She just looks at you.
She's actually late 99, early 2000s Tory when she get paranoid and Kane would just beat your ass. Do you remember that time? She spent that weekend with X-Pac and all of a sudden she became a nervous wreck. And every time she even like go in the same locker room as her, she's actually changing or whatever. Kane will beat you up for no reason. That's why it reminded me of. I finally nailed it. That's what it is.
I guess.
You guess? Go back and watch.
She points to the commentary table. Wagner pits up Jiro to launch him like he did Wes Lee last week, but Josh Briggs comes out and attacks Wagner to make the save. So it seems like we're going to get Josh Briggs versus Von Wagner next.
I was actually happy about that horse fight, and also the last Evolve champion, Josh Briggs, coming out there. Listen, get rid of the dead weight. Get rid of that Bull McGillicuddy that's, a chronic masturbation that he likes to do. Josh Briggs is a horse. Give him some trunks. Give him some elbow pad. Make him do some yeehaws. This guy's got it.
Yeehaw, biscuit. In the parking lot, we see Tony D and his wise guys are leaving the building. He says that the turf war must end at In Your House, but he suggests first they do another sit down with Legado del Fantasma. Tony D says, last time you came to us, so this time we will come to you. So they are going to Legado del Fantasma's home turf, and when Two Dimes shows concern over the last time with AJ Galante getting kidnapped, Tony D says he has something in his back pocket to take care of this time. So another sit down next week. That riveting sit down was not enough. We got to get part 2 next week. It's like The Godfather 2. It's going to be one of the best
sequels not ever. Godfather 3. There better be no incest involved in that meeting, because we know Santos Escobar does great in those vignettes. That guy is so comfortable. Every week when I see Santos Escobar on NXT 2.0, my question, it will continue to be that question until he goes, why is he not on the main roster? They need another Latin star? He's right there.
He's right there. He's just staring you in the face, WWE.
With no baggages of any sort of domestic abuse or any tough English issues. The guy's there. He's from a pedigree, from a wrestling family. They love a wrestling family. Oh, Vince loves it. The second and third generation wrestler. I can market you, son. Come here. Hey, he's there, man. Come on.
Staring you right in the face, but they'll probably wait until he's like 39. He's getting close. So
then they'll make him a manager for someone else. Because heck, they did it for Max Dupree.
Or they're put him with a Hall of Famer like they did Damian Priest. Or Bad Bunny. They'll put him with a rapper like Bad Bunny. Either or. Back from break, Von Wagner, Mr. Stone, and Sophia Cromwell are backstage, and they're talking about all their enemies. But Sophia says that Von can handle anything. She believes in Von. She's probably alone in that, though.
Okay, I was actually relieved. She is not a corpse. She was alive for that promo. Sophia Cromwell delivered her lines well. So I was actually happy. She's got potential. Her pointing is atrocious, but delivering dialogue, she's better than Stacks, who I don't like. She's better than Stacks.
Yeah,
Stacks is now the low bar, guys.
You don't like Stacks. You like Two Dimes.
I like Two Dimes. Stacks is terrible. Sophia Cromwell can cut a decent promo. She's actually better than Duke Hudson because she actually had some sass to her. But was I convinced by her sass? I don't know. We'll see next week. But she talked, and now we know she's a business associate of Mr. Stone. For weeks, I've been asking, who is that lady? Why is Von Wagner beating people up for her? And I was worried for Mr. Stone. I was like, Mr. Stone, she's got the keys to Von Wagner's pea-brain.
Apparently, she's a business associate of Mr. Stone, so he's in control of everything still.
And for people asking in the chat, Godfather 3 included some incest. If you've never seen it, spoiler
alert, for a movie that came out 30 years ago. Probably 40. Commentary.
Probably born around that time as well, maybe. I don't know. Not the 40 part, the 30.
Commentary is talking about the night when Mandy Rose interrupts with Toxic Attraction from the Toxic Lounge. Rose says that Wendy Chu is a joke and she is a grown-up kid and I'm a grown Apple woman. JC says... JC says
Peach, but bless him. She's a grown apple.
No, she's a grown apple woman. JC says Chance and Carter will be next to Munchkin Land at In Your House, and they accept their challenge. Gigi says they will walk in as champions and they will walk out as champions, and let's make it official next week. And then Rose says they don't have the balls to take their titles, which is a factual statement. Wendy Chu, Kaden Carter, and Katana Chance, none of them have balls. So factual. No, Wendy Chu does have balls. She hit Mandy Rose in the face with it.
Will
Gigi
you stop?
Gigi Dolan was the best and the most convincing promo out of Toxic Attraction here. I saw somebody on Twitter say it, and I kind of felt that vibe. She comes off like a young Paige in a way from her
Wait,
promo delivery.
hasn't Gigi Dolan always been the one in the group? Mandy was established. Mandy's Mandy. They can put back on the main roster tomorrow. JC Jane is the one that had to prove herself. She's the one I don't really know much about. Gigi Dolan, she's known for being the wife of the guy that got flamed and is now in witness protection via social media. Yeah, Gigi Dolan, she's got potential. So I can't wait to see her develop and shine. But yeah, next promo is a barbershop segment, not the Brutus Beefcake kind.
The best segment on this show, we go to Cut Wiz, where we got Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. They're talking about In Your House. Trick says, let's jump him a third time, talking about jumping Cameron Grimes. And then comes Cameron Grimes into the barbershop. I wish Cameron Grimes was the old Cameron Grimes and came in and said, I want one of those things you call a fade. Let me get one of those.
But you know what? As much as we want old Cameron Grimes, this Cameron Grimes kind of reminded me of old Cameron Grimes. He came in cocky, laughing. He sat down in the barbershop chair. Yes, he hasn't lost that part of him, but they took a lot from him. They have. They massacred our boy.
They stripped him down a lot. Grimes wanted to talk man to man and brings up Mello, calling him lucky last week. Mello says that Cameron is great in the ring, but he doesn't rock that title like Hayes. Grimes says that Mello may have been the A champion, but that's all he will ever be, a champion. And Mello says he was the A champion, but Cameron is just a title holder. And everybody in the barber's like, oh, boom, oh. It was like a roast battle here. Then Grimes brings up Nathan Frazier, talking about all his skill, saying that people are saying Nathan Frazier is better than Carmelo Hayes. So he's going to be versing him in a warm-up match next week to get ready for In Your House. And then they go over the In Your House lineup, which already has Grimes versus Hayes confirmed, Creeds versus Pretty Deadly, Breaker versus Gacy, and then we got the women's title matches. What did you think about the Cut Wiz promo here with Hayes and Grimes?
I loved it. Like Trick and Mello, like they thrive in that sort of environment. It kind of reminds me when we had Swerve back in NXT, and he used to cut promos in the studio booth, and then those people that he was rocking with in the studio booth end up becoming his group. So I don't know if the people in Cut Wiz are just extras or are they like WWE trainees or jabronis, as SP3 likes to say, and they're gonna debut as a crew. Probably a stretch there, but yeah, I like the fact that Cameron Grimes came into the barbershop, and like you said, it's a shame he's not like the old Cameron Grimes where he would have played a little bit of mind games, would have thrown a little shaving cream here and there, a little bit childish demeanor, but it was nice to set up a match. I hate silly babyface logic of you have to have a warm-up match. You don't have to. You're the champion for a reason. Champions don't have to do warm-up matches, but heck, more power to him.
Hey, I do prefer when a champion has a non-title match to get ready for a big match. I liked, talking about AEW, I liked when Hangman Adam Page did his match against Takeshita. That was a great matchup.
That was a great
match.
Match.
Hopefully Cameron Grimes and Nathan Frazier can have a great match next week. And I think with those two guys' skills, they will. But you know what time it is, Sad. You waited all episodes. Some people come for just this moment. Because love is blind.
Learn the lyrics. Learn the lyrics. What would you learn the lyrics?
I can't believe people don't realize I'm saying the lyrics wrong on purpose. But okay,
learn the lyrics. Why can't you learn the lyrics?
No, never gonna see you on the other side.
Oh, learn the lyrics. What would you learn the lyrics?
We go backstage during Braun Breaker's entrance for the main event, where Joe Gacy is with the Druids, and he says, and I quote, "Tonight, you two have done a fabulous job. Clearly, we're getting to him, and in this next match, we'll make sure of it."
Yay!
That's all we got, ladies and gentlemen. That's all we got this week.
Oh, by the way, just to give you a quick segue, the mystery wrestlers that's debuting, it was after this segment, because apparently you didn't see it, SP3, just to let you know. I'm gonna let you say your piece. Same piece, SP3. How you feel? Your guy got cut for time.
They
Budget
cut
cuts.
him off. They cut him off. This just felt like a budget cut. I wanted more from Gacy here, but
The
hey,
Druids. It's GYV, right?
it seems like GYV. Every time I look at them, I'm like, yeah, this looks like Zach Gibson and and
The
James
other one.
Drake for sure. The
But
other one.
but what I want to say is the question is, will they keep their names? Because I can see grizzled young veterans legit shoot saying, we've been a tag team here for a while, didn't get anywhere. And then this guy came along, gives a reaching hand in the Scouse accent. It'd be so funny when they do it. And then they've seen the light. It could be simple as that. Or we've never seen him before. Gimmick change, like the next one we're gonna get into right now. So SP3 didn't see this.
Go ahead.
There was a vignette. There was a voice talking, sounded female, speaking in Italian. There were subtitles there. And then you had like the gondolas, you had like the Gucci stores or wherever. So this person's from money. So they're setting up this big arrival of a wrestler. You see them in a suit, you see their watch, but you do not see their face. My question is, Fabian Eichner, where out Val? Because the guy coming to NXT, his name is Giovanni Vinci. Giovanni Vinci is come to NXT 2.0. Is Giovanni Vinci the former Fabian Eichner? Did Fabian Eichner grow a hair on his chin while he's been gone? Because I don't know if he can grow hair on his head, but did he grow a goatee to differentiate his previous persona? Because I know Mayor Painesville Dan, his heart's broken. Dan, I'm so sorry for you because Dan's been saying it. Fabian Eichner may have been born in some small island in near Italy, but he's more German than he's Italian. He's mad at that. Dan, I feel your pain. Send some super chats because we're broke. I feel your pain. Send some Mochachats. I feel your pain, everyone. If you got some complaints about Giovanni Vinci, send us some Mochachats. I'll read it to you.
You're making me glad I missed this vignette, but
no, you would have liked it. He's like a sophisticated man. It's coming to NXT. He's from Italy, the real Italy, not the New York kind. Tony D, the real Mob Don, is coming to NXT 2.0, and his name is Giovanni Vinci. Yeah, forget about it. Goomba.
he either has to feud or join the family with Tony D.
Usurp. No. You know what? He went from one group. He's not going to go to another. One was sacred. The other one is sleeping with the fishes.
Forget about it.
I want Giovanni Vinci to be the guy. If it's Fabian Eichner, yay. I'm sorry, Mayor Painesville Dan. That means we get a push. Yes, generic Italian name generator indeed. But his finishing move can be called the Da Vinci Code.
That is a good one. That is a good one. But then we finally got our main event. So last call for Mochachats, WrestleTalk.com/support. Our main event was NXT champion Bron Breakker going up against Duke Hudson. We see Joe Gacy and the Druids are in the birdside view in the CWC watching the match early on. Bron hits the Frankensteiner and follows with a belly-to-belly suplex, but Hudson gets the advantage by attacking his leg. Bron hits an impressive vertical suplex on Hudson for a guy his size. That was very nice, but he tries to follow him to the floor where Hudson hits a lariat on Breakker. The Druids, when we come back from commercial, they're in the entranceway while Gacy is on the opposite side of the ring. Hudson goes for the Steiner recliner, but Bron escapes and tries one of his own. However, Duke gets out of it by chopping him in the throat. We then get Breakker making his comeback when the Druids go to attack him on the floor, but Bron fights them off. He then gets in the ring where Hudson has a steel chair given to him by Joe Gacy, but Breakker fights him off. He grabs the chair, he hits the Druids with the chair, but then he hits Duke Hudson with the steel chair to cause the disqualification. This was all right, but and the finish, it plays into what we're going to see in your house, where if Bron Breakker is disqualified, he loses the NXT championship. And then post-match, Joe Gacy says, whether it's mind games, Bron, or impulse, you can't control it. And he laughs as we go off air.
Joe Gacy seems kind of silly because I feel like any person can do mind games with Bron Breakker. Oh, you're gonna disqualify me because I use a chair? That's what it felt like with Bron Breakker. The match was brief. It was a great horse exchange. Duke Hudson shows some potential in the match. This match and the Volta match, he's showing shades of someone that could be something. He just needs a manager, someone to mold him. Maybe a Sophia Cromwell, maybe. Who knows? It just is something missing.
I did not like this match. This match was like you just created a person in WWE 2K22 and you didn't work on their move set. It was just very basic move set throughout this entire match.
It was stuck in first gear. I may admit that is true. But at the same time, earlier in the night, I didn't mention this. Wade Barrett said yeeted. Someone needs to stop inviting that guy to cookouts. Or because he once dated Alicia Fox does not grant him a lifetime supply of cookouts.
He also brought up a match for next week and said that's gonna bang. I was like,
stop inviting him to cookouts, guys. Wade Barrett has inserted himself into the culture. Like I said, he's once Alicia Fox's man for many, many years. And he now thinks he's down with the crowd. He probably got BML tattoo on his buttocks or something. But yeah, this match was a thing.
Yeah, there was a lot of just matches on this show, and yeah, I wasn't impressed with Duke Hudson, but he beat the NXT champion by disqualification here, so he's in line for a title shot by WWE standards. That's what I took from all of this. But the finish played in with the matchup with Joe Gacy and Braun Breaker for In Your House, so it was effective in that part. But this episode of NXT just didn't connect with me too well.
I'm with you. It felt like so many matches were stuck in first gear. Usually in NXT, we get that one defining match that went for like 10, 15, or even 12 minutes, sometimes pushing it 15 minutes. And that was like match of the night, which helped balance the odds. But yeah, it was a lot of matches stuck in first gear and it just finished before it even started. So I'm with you on that.
But let's hear from what the people think. Let's hear those Mochachats set. Let's get to it.
It's Mochachats time. This is from Rob Zilla. It's like another week with the Mocha boys. Hopefully Nikkita won't miss too much time as she was getting over and had real momentum. Question for the lovely Mocha boys. When are you guys going to appear on NRB? Much love, gents. Mocha boys for NRB. No rows barred, for just in case y'all didn't know what he was saying. SP.
I'm waiting for our invite, Sat. What about you? I mean, you guys need to put it over on NRB in the comment section. Say, when is Sat and SP3 going to be on NRB?
That's the answer. You see, I'm like that pretty girl in the corner. I ain't going to ask you out. You're going to ask me out. And I'm going to pretend that I didn't really care that, oh, you're going to invite me to play your little board game? Yeah, think about it. But deep down, like, yes. Thanks for finally inviting me. I've been waiting a year for this. Yeah, just let him know. Make some noise and I'll be there.
WrestleTalk listens to the people. So just put it in the comment section if you want to see Sat and Sat. You want to hear my daughter in the background playing some board games. Shake. Yes, Harlem shaking. Let us know. Let them know on NRB in the comment section.
The next one, I think, is Elusive M4GE. I don't know if Elusive Mag wrote. Been curious for some time now. King SP3. What shoe size do you wear?
I am between a 10.5 and an 11.
There you go.
There you go.
That's all the Mochachats we have.
If this means that you're gonna buy me some sneakers, DM me on Twitter and maybe I have a PO box you can send it to.
I'm size 11 UK size. Just anyone's asking. Big feet for big socks, whatever that means. But guys, this is my favorite time of the show. It's time for Saeed's Mod Call of the Week. Mod Roll Call of the Week. Saeed and SP3 gonna do it. Shout out to Mod Brother Rob. Love you, dude. Shout out to Mod Brother Bubba, aka Paul, if you want to be personal with him. Shout out to Mod Brother Brandon. You're incredible too. And shout out to Mod Brother John. And most importantly, shout out to the mother of all mods, the woman that makes the ship steer correctly and not track into the iceberg like a Titanic, like I try to do every single week. Mod Mother Jenna, we love you. We salute you. Thank you for the work you do. You and the team, BWO. Mwah. You guys rock. Mods are the best. Unsung heroes. And I'm doing my best to shout them out because that's what they deserve.
They
Blue Ranch
deserve
Order.
all the love in the world. We appreciate the mods and we appreciate all of you for watching the Mocha 2.0 review of NXT 2.0. Let's put our thumbs in the middle, Sat, for this episode of NXT 2.0 in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we're both giving it a thumbs down, a rare thumbs down. I think only the second time we've given an episode of NXT a thumbs down. They kind of live in the middle for us a lot of weeks. We're always the bar, but this was a thumbs down show. No matches that really stood out. The progression into In Your House was there, but didn't hit as well as it usually does, but we are glad anyone comes on over and watches our NXT 2.0 review. We try our best to have fun for even the thumbs down episodes like this week. But any final comments before we wrap things up, Sat?
Yeah, what the heck? We need more Mochachats. I got a child to feed now, guys. We need more Mochachats, please. Next week, at least like 5 Mochachats. I'll be happy. I got a child to feed. This actually feeds my child now, guys. We are the world. We are the children. We are all that crap. Anyway, thank you so much for watching,
Hey,
guys.
I used to work with Save the Children. Just letting everybody know.
It was a show, but Shawn Michaels, aka Michael Hickenbottom, is still Book of the Year because you never know what's gonna happen next week. Next week may actually make up for what happened this week. Less Joe Gacy. Maybe that's why you hate the show. I don't know.
That's why I did like the show. Come on, man. I need my Joe Gacy promos. At least give me like 4 or 5 lines of Joe Gacy promos. I don't care what anyone thinks about the Joe Gacy promos because I know all of you, there's a huge majority of our fans.
Minority. It's
for
minority. I want to say thank you to everyone that watches the show live and interact in the chat. Please stay positive. Don't make things hard on Mod Mother and the BWO, the Blue Wench Order. Do not make them have to kick you out. Please. Peace, love in the chat. And also tell your friends, even if they don't watch NXT 2.0, us talking about it makes it even more enjoyable. I mean, the show's okay. It has its glaring omissions and it's bad in some parts, but it's okay because Shawn Michaels makes sure that he doesn't repeat the same things over and over again. And like some shows that actually show you the Miz and Cody for another week within the same month. So yeah, please watch the show. Get the viewers up. I know you miss Tempest and you miss Pete, but give us a chance. I got a child to feed.
Exactly. We got kids to feed, ladies and gentlemen.
He's got 2. I'm gonna catch up.
We got 3 in total. But yes, that brings us to a close on our NXT 2.0 review. This has been the Mocha 2.0 WrestleTalk podcast. Remember to hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. You got the AEW Dynamite review with Ali and Luke tomorrow. You got the magazine show with Denise, Luke on Friday. You got the LIW boys, the Los Intangibles, there to WrestleTalk, Pete and Tempest on Saturday. And of course, you got the Double or Nothing watch along on Sunday. So check that all out. So for Sat E, I'm SP3, and this has been the Mocha 2.0 NXT 2.0 review. Sat,